If you was born and raised in any part of Chicago, and one thing you can learn was that the less you tell your friends, the less your enemies will know. And the number one rule is to make it home no matter what, because rather your family bring you money to prison than flowers to your grave. Anyway, everybody know NLMB got real smoke in the city, and if you affiliated in that gang war, I just don't understand why would you still throw an album release party with no armed security. But God rest the souls of the ones who lost their lives and prayers towards the injured. Perhaps this is the perfect time for NLMB Doo Whoop to take this as a lesson. T Slick and NLMB/Glow Gang Capo are gone. Perhaps Doo Whoop, it's time for him fall back, gang. He's been through a lot. A lot of people don't know. No Limit Doo-Wop is the reason a lot of people tapped in with Glow Gang. Mello Buckzz finally got her viral drill moment, and she lucky, cause most people never make though in their viral moment. They ended up dying. Her friends got killed, her boyfriend got killed, he left the child. Is it worth? Perhaps it's time for Mello Buckzz to leave Chicago and focus on her career. Shoddy, I tell you, for real, for real. Check this list of people, known bigger figures like Vito, Mad Max, who was top killer of NLMB, with 11 bodies on his score at the time of his passing. Boss Blizz was from the Muskegon Boys clique, and he also claimed NLMB, G Fazzo, to which G Herbo's close friend. Herbo dedicated his LP or album or single named it Fazzoland to honor G Fazzo. Other deceased NLMB are Alamo and Rock and many others, but we won't focus on only that. For today, in this story, is about Mello Buckzz and mass shooting. Kobe, whose real name is Jacoby, Hearings, and other No Limit/NLMB all are gone, and these were very close friends of Doo Whoop. Do you think Doo Whoop need to chill or move out of the city after this? As always, like many ops do when their rival get killed, Mello Buckzz boyfriends and NLMB members died, and ops are trolling and taunt NLMB No Limit.
Who always following behind No Limit? You trolling, that ain't in your hood, but go check on them though, you goofy ass little boy. He know who I'm talking to. You want to be in comments and shit? You a little boy, you ain't did shit either. I can't wait to catch him again. I'm beating his ass. You redhead, get in the comments and tell him, that ain't nothing, y'all. He was just drunk. Alright, cool, that's cool.
That ain't nothing, y'all. Y'all was just off.
Three, 4 of yours was just drunk.
We don't give a about nothing.
Hey, tell that
Drop no album. Keep that weak. Hey, weak ass cover art.
all in heralds with that weak ass. Don't drop that weak ass album. We don't want to keep shaking. Nobody want to keep shaking our ass. Then go legit. You ain't go legit. Nobody went legit except for.
Since FBG Duck was gone because of allegedly some fans or op at the store in the Gold Coast neighborhood dropped his locations and that cost his life, ABK Bobo Locations was dropped, ended up get killed by Black Mob. FBG Cash got set up by Female Friend, Boss Trail 2 got set up by LaDorothy Morrison, Shooter Shells got set up by Female, then ended up get killed by 3 shooters aimed at him, and ended up killed in tragedy way. So it seems 3 ways many young people die, either by their ops or friends dropping location, either intentionally or unaware. So many major figures set up by female friends, or get caught lacking at the wrong place at the wrong time, like what happened to Lil Jojo of Brick Squad. It's sad though, even King Yella was shot for shooting music videos of promoting peace some years ago and ended up getting shot. But this one is different though. Mello Buckzz booked the venue in a place which assumed to be safe place in Chicago. Her streaming was the biggest mistake she could think of. While she is streaming, ops are watching. Pocket Town, Bloodbath, and folks in them. Mello Buckzz is well-known female drill rapper from NLMB, set over East Chicago, and an acknowledged member of the infamous NLMB street gang, was hosting an album release celebration at the Artist Lounge nightclub in River North. The event marked the debut of her latest project, Hollywood Hood, which launched on streaming platforms Thursday morning. The celebration attracted a high-profile crowd, including affiliates from both NLMB and their allies from East End. Among the attendees were Big Op and Doo Wop, connected to NLMB and Drench Gang. Promoted as a private event, doors opened at 7 p.m. and the night began with a vibrant and energetic atmosphere. But 4 hours later, just as guests began to leave, the celebration took a devastating turn. While everyone blamed Mello Buckzz, Mello Buckzz speaks out, takes accountability after deadly album release tragedy. Mello Buckzz, affiliated with NLMB, has come forward on social media to ask for forgiveness and express deep regret over the recent mass shooting that occurred during her album release event. She stated that she feels responsible for the chaos, the deaths, and the injuries sustained by her affiliates, fellow NLMB members, and fans who came out to support her. As of now, 5 people have tragically lost their lives, and many others remain in critical condition, fighting for survival in the hospital. Initially, the reports indicated that 4 people were killed and 14 were shot. However, an update has confirmed a 5th fatality, with 13 individuals currently hospitalized in serious or life-threatening condition. Many of the victims include women, and another death was reported just recently. Rest in peace to those who lost their lives. Now the question many are asking is, will Mello Buckzz need to leave the state, reinvent her image, and keep her new location secret, even from friends, except maybe her mother? Or will this violence continue to follow her? One of the shooting victims was NLMB affiliate No Limit Doo Wop, who was reportedly shot in the leg. According to sources, he's expected to recover but is still under medical treatment. Another victim, a young woman, narrowly escaped a fatal shot to the face. The bullet instead went through her jaw or damaged her teeth. She's currently in stable condition and has bravely come forward on social media to share her pain and describe the horrific chaos of that night. She explained how she got caught in the crossfire during what was supposed to be a celebration. CBS News reporter Sarah Makey spoke with one survivor, Shania Battle, who is currently recovering at Northwestern Hospital. With a bullet still lodged in her mouth and several teeth missing, Shania shared that her sister, Aviance, known to loved ones as Avi or Avi King, was one of those killed in the attack. She provided photos of better days, the sisters laughing, celebrating, and proudly showing their bond. The rapper has since posted emotional tributes to multiple victims, including her boyfriend, 23-year-old Devontae Williamson. Her posts include heartfelt captions like, "My handsome man," and "We were having so much fun in our private little life, glued to my hip every day." In another statement, Mello Buckzz shared that she feels overwhelmed, saying that all she can do now is talk to God and pray. Now here's the reality. Parents of the victims, those who were shot or killed at Mello Buckz's club event, are speaking out. Many of them believe that their children would still be alive today if it weren't for Mello Buckzz and her ties to NLMB. They're questioning why an artist with known affiliations, ongoing street beef, and so many enemies, ops, would host such a public event and live stream it, especially after making disrespectful comments about the deceased just moments before the party began. This wasn't random to them. They feel it was inevitable. The tension, the location, the disses, it all created a perfect storm. At this point, the facts are heartbreaking and disturbing. 5 people dead, one of them a woman, 2 shooters, 5 confirmed homicides, 13 others fighting for their lives. Some are calling the entire situation demonic. Many online are even speculating about whether this could have been a blood sacrifice. The timing, the deaths, the energy, all of it has raised suspicions, whether founded or not. And people are holding Mello Buckzz accountable, believing her music, her affiliations, and her actions may have played a role in what happened that night. Could this be all her fault? Some are arguing that Mello Buckzz may bear full responsibility for what happened. In one of her tracks, BD featuring G Herbo, she's been accused of mocking the families of the deceased, fueling even more tension among rival groups. Now, those same grieving families are expected to pursue legal action, seeking justice for their loved ones in a court of law. The bigger question remains, was this tragic event the result of the lifestyle she promotes? A lifestyle built on violence, revenge, and destruction? For years, her music has glorified street warfare, bragged about enemies, and celebrated retaliation. But where does that path lead? The answer is always the same: death, prison, and heartbreak. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think she should be held fully accountable? Unanswered questions surrounding Mello Buckz's actions that night. There are some serious questions being asked of Mello Buckzz in the wake of the mass shooting. One of the biggest is this: if she was so close to her boyfriend, why wasn't she with him when the shooting happened? Ladies, put yourself in her shoes. If you were in Mello's position, would you have gone to the party without your man? Or was it that he chose to stay behind? Some believe there may be reasonable explanations. Could she have stepped away to change clothes, especially since photos show her wearing a different outfit later in the night? Was she settling the bill at the venue, which would make sense as the host? Was she using the restroom, or just inside the door, seeing guests out? Making harsh assumptions without all the facts, especially in such a tragic situation, can be extremely unfair and cruel. Anyone who's ever hosted an event knows the person organizing it is often the last one out. That part isn't suspicious. But still, one question lingers. How did Mello Buckzz manage to walk away unharmed while those closest to her were caught in the gunfire? Ballistics reports confirm that at least 2 different firearms were used, suggesting multiple shooters. As detectives continue to gather evidence and analyze the scene, the community is left mourning and demanding answers, while at the same time police are still trying to determine that. This was the scene Wednesday night of 2nd July 2025 outside Artist Restaurant and Lounge in River North. Superintendent Snelling says it appears one of the guns used was a rifle. The business was rented out for a private event, an album release party for local drill rapper Mello Buckzz. A large crowd had gathered on the sidewalk at Chicago Avenue in Franklin. The shots came from a passing dark-colored vehicle. Police have not offered a motive, but say it is clear this was a targeted attack. It is unclear who the shooter or shooters were targeting. They didn't care who was struck, and in a matter of seconds, they were able to shoot 18 people. Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling, joined by Mayor Brendan Johnson and other city public safety leaders, addressing the mass shooting today. There's a possibility that there was a rifle used in this. There were 2 different calibers of shell casings recovered. Chicago leaders respond to River North mass shooting as grieving families speak out. City officials are mobilizing in the wake of the mass shooting that left 5 people dead and over a dozen injured at an event hosted by rapper Mello Buckzz in Chicago's River North neighborhood. The city is working closely with both local and federal agencies to prevent further violence. While the streets already know it's their ops, while police have released little official information about the victims, social media has begun to fill in the emotional and personal details. Among the 5 confirmed deceased are people, some of whom were reportedly very close to Mello Buckzz herself. Many online are questioning the nature of the event itself, wondering whether this tragedy could have been avoided. Many suggest the shooting was targeted. Multiple sources point out that some of the deceased were within Mello Buckz's immediate circle. Some community members argue that the shooting wasn't random at all. They believe the attack may have stemmed from long-standing conflicts, especially considering NLMB's history of feuds across Chicago. Flyers and social media posts had advertised the party in advance, making the location public and vulnerable. There was already a target on their backs, one community member commented. If you're affiliated with a group that has beef with half the city, you can't put your location out like that and expect nothing to happen. Initially, many believed that the occupants of a black Nissan Altima involved in the drive-by were connected to familiar rival gangs. However, later reports suggest that the shooters may not have had direct history with the victims. Instead, it's believed they were sent by others, tipped off by the publicly shared location of the event. Tragically, even if these gunmen weren't directly involved in past conflicts, the fact that the event was linked to high-profile individuals in ongoing gang rivalries may have made it a target regardless. Critics are also drawing attention to Mello Buckz's lyrics, which often reference street violence, revenge, and gunplay. In songs, she's rapped about her crew hopping out the car, switching crowds, and seeking retribution. Language some now say may have contributed to the atmosphere that led to the attack. This situation is bigger than one artist or one night. It's a reflection of deep-rooted violence, grief, and a city struggling with retaliation cycles that tear families apart. To the mothers, fathers, and grandparents mourning right now, our hearts go out to you. Drop and RARIP in the comments for the 5 lives lost, and send healing thoughts to the many still fighting for theirs. A lot of people don't know that this is messing up the whole black community. Mello Buckzz did not know that this was going to affect the whole black community. Chicago is already bad as it is. And when you go to these certain places thinking that you're going to have fun, it ends up being a tragedy every single time. I want y'all to really pay close attention to the people y'all keep in y'all circle and the people y'all call y'all friends, because these are the same people who were standing outside supporting her, but she was nowhere to be found. And from what the security guard said, one of the bouncers, he said that she was looking over the shoulder of the dude when the black Altima pulled up and the dude stuck his hand out the window and started shooting. This is a sad situation, and I want y'all to drop down in the comments section. Violence must stop. If you feel that this could have easily been avoided, this is senseless violence. We see this happen time after time. The investigators who was outside putting them yellow markers down, they was the main ones who said that Mello Buckzz, she should have never even had that event that day. Or she should have had it in the daytime where it was broad daylight, where a lot of people was walking back and forth. 2 men who were part of Mello Buckz's crowd reportedly fired back at the black Altima, as if they recognized the shooters as their enemies. Meanwhile, innocent bystanders were caught in the crossfire. Many of them had to be rushed away on stretchers and loaded into ambulances. In some cases, even police officers had to carry victims to their own vehicles and race them to the hospital. A lot of people believe this tragedy could have been avoided if the event had been kept lower profile. Think about how many people didn't make it home to their children that night. Most of the victims were young, between the ages of 18 and 30, just out there trying to have a good time. The 2 men who returned fire were immediately detained and put in handcuffs on the scene. This is something we see happen over and over again in Chicago. It's like a black cloud hangs over the city, and once again, it could have been prevented. Mello Buckzz was still inside the venue when the shots rang out. According to eyewitnesses, she looked over the shoulder of a man just as the shots started, then ducked and ran straight to the office. Meanwhile, her friends, her family, even her boyfriend, people she came with, were left outside. Her boyfriend lost his life that night to senseless violence, while she's still alive making music. Yes, it was her album release party. But what about the victims? What about the innocent people who were just there to enjoy some music? Some are comparing this tragedy to what happened to Jennifer Hudson back in 2008, when her mother and brother were found murdered in their Southside Chicago home. This whole situation is heartbreaking. The crowd could have been kept inside longer or escorted to their cars. Instead, They were left standing outside, exposed, almost like they were waiting for something. According to CPD, the shooter used a switch-equipped weapon and fired into the crowd from a car window. The getaway driver even pulled around the corner to keep shooting at people as they ran away, trying to escape. This wasn't random. It felt targeted. They came for one reason: to shoot as many people as possible. It was a mass shooting. We haven't seen something like this in a long time, and it cost people their lives. We can't keep pretending that we can go out, promote ourselves, party, and nothing will happen. This was senseless violence. People who had no clue what was about to happen were caught up in it. They just wanted to hear some music. They just wanted to enjoy themselves. But in Chicago today, even stepping out for a good time can cost you your life. This is a hard truth the Black community has to face. We're already dealing with enough. We can't keep losing our people like this. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Say RIP P to the lives lost. Pray for the healing of those injured. And ask yourself, is this the future we want for our community? Now, you already know Doo-Wop, Big Op, G Herbo, and the rest of them. Folks, and them got ops in Chicago. From Pocket Town, Black Mob, Bloodbath, KTS, Lakeside, and so many other ops across the city. Like, at the end of the day, they got ops around the whole city. This could have easily been avoided. This is senseless violence, and a lot of people did not make it home to their kids. Do you know how they family feeling right now? Their family is grieving, and they family feel that she's the cause of it. Regardless of what happened and what went down, or even the circumstances of the dudes them pulling up and the other dudes firing back, these people went out there on their own accord just to support their friend. This is why everybody ain't your friend, because I ain't see her post not one thing that said get well to all these people. And a lot of people said that she hiding out right now. They got a target on her head. They got a whole bag on her head. Like, at the end of the day, she knew what she did. She knew she was supposed to be standing out there with these people. Now, we don't want nothing bad to happen to nobody, but at the end of the day, these the same people who came to support you. So you ain't gonna even send no flowers or nothing. You ain't gonna even call their parents and let them know that you sorry for this even happening or even occurring under these circumstances. We see this happen all the time. This is why you can't go out in these streets thinking I can protect you, thinking that somebody's gonna protect you, because dude, them shot back. They still ended up hitting 18 people. Out of everything that's ever gone down in Chicago, we haven't seen a mass shooting like this, unless you count something like the Bud Billiken parade. Come on now. This didn't have to happen. It could have easily been avoided. We've got to start thinking smarter about the choices we make and the places we go. You can't be out at 2 or 3 in the morning thinking it's just going to be fun and games. At that hour, the streets are empty, everyone's asleep, there's no traffic, and y'all are just standing around, talking. For what? First and foremost, I want to say get well soon to everyone who was injured. Truthfully, they shouldn't have even been out there that late. At that time of night, nothing good is happening. We all should know that by now. People out here old enough to ride around with switches, old enough to diss their ops and diss the dead, but not old enough to realize it's more important to be at home with their kids than out on the block with their friends. That's wild. Look around. This world is going through it. People are struggling. People are hurting. Some just want to stay inside, raise their kids, and make sure they're alive the next day to take them to school. We see this happen time after time. And regardless of whether those men standing out there were in a gang or not, you can't judge that. Some of them are fathers. They still have children to raise. They still have responsibilities, and they shouldn't have been in a position where they felt the need to shoot back. One of those guys handcuffed at the scene was there supporting Mello Buckzz. And now look what happened. Meanwhile, the people in that black car, they're laughing. They feel like they got the last word. They think y'all got what y'all deserved. But let's be real. Those people never should have been put in that situation. They should have made it back home the same way they left, safe and alive. There are cameras everywhere now, so there's no excuse. RAIDED to everyone who got shot and killed. And let's ask ourselves, where were they even going? That area is dead at night. No apartments, no real foot traffic. If you're on North Avenue near Division or anywhere around Marshfield Garden Apartments, you already know what kind of trouble you might run into. This is a sad and painful situation. We've got to start making better choices. We've got to value life more. Because right now it feels like we're losing more than we're living. We really have to start paying closer attention to the people we keep around us, and we need to be mindful of where we choose to go. Just because there's a big crowd doesn't mean a place is safe. Sometimes that crowd makes it more dangerous. A group standing around like that can easily become a target. Anybody could get hit. And let's be honest, when people see a crowd like that, it can trigger threats or retaliation. This wasn't some random accident. The shooter knew exactly what he was doing. In the aftermath of the mass shooting, various theories have surfaced regarding who may have been behind what many are now calling a targeted mass execution. One of the most widely circulated narratives links the attack to a homicide that occurred just a day earlier. That prior incident involved the fatal shooting of Big Drills, a known member of 95 Mob, in the Marley Grove area. At the time, he was with Lil Benji, who was affiliated with both YFG and 95 Mob. Rumors quickly spread that Darrow, associated with Bloodbath 130th, was behind the killing. Members of Bloodbath were among the first to post taunting messages online about Drills' death, even before authorities had officially reported the incident. Soon after, prominent NLMB members such as Big Op, Varro, and Lil Hot also took to social media to mock Drills, suggesting he had died on a drill, implying he was killed while attempting a hit. This sequence of events has led some to believe that 95 Mob and YFG moved swiftly to retaliate, targeting NLMB during Mello Buckz's album release party. Another theory gaining traction points to Pocket Town as the possible perpetrators. This speculation stems from a surge in social media posts by individuals linked to Pocket Town, many of whom reference Big Mex, a known Pocket Town member who was killed in late March. His death is believed to have been carried out by Shorty Mob, a younger faction within NLMB. Some online messages suggest the mass shooting may have been a revenge act for Mex's killing. However, the credibility of this theory is uncertain. Pocket Town's street presence is said to have waned in recent months, raising doubts about their ability to orchestrate such a large-scale attack independently. Still, some believe a more active allied group, possibly 95 Mob, could have carried out the shooting on their behalf. Observers have noted that although Pocket Town and its affiliates have made vocal threats in response to the deaths of KTS Dre and Spook, they had yet to carry out a definitive act of retaliation against NLMB. Until now, perhaps. However, it looks like the CPD don't know yet the motives, but the streets are talking. When police were asked whether the attack was gang-related and whether retaliation was expected, the police superintendent neither confirmed nor denied the possibility. We are coordinating with local and federal partners to investigate whether this may be tied to ongoing gang conflict, he said. City leaders are urging the public to come forward with any information. One witness said she saw a black car pull up and a man lean out the window with a big assault rifle. She clearly described seeing a switch on the back of it. That wasn't panic. That was intentional. This is a deeply sad situation, but unfortunately, it's not new. It's just the latest in a long line of shootings we've seen again and again. People keep getting caught in the crossfire, and the violence just repeats, back to back to back. So when are we going to wake up and stop doing the same things that keep leading to these outcomes? We have to start being mindful of our actions, because they do catch up to us. The decisions we make now can shape our future, good or bad. I've read through some of the comments people are leaving, and many of them are heartbroken. One person said something that really stood out. "You went to a rapper's album release party. She was on Instagram dissing the ops and had her homies acting like security, ready to shoot at anybody who got close to her. Why would you even attend something like that?" And it's a valid point. The families of these victims, including their children, are the ones left picking up the pieces. Some may receive compensation since this happened at a public venue, but that won't bring back lives or undo the trauma. Another person said, "These people should have never even been outside that late." And they're right. We should never put ourselves in harm's way for anybody, especially not for clout, attention, or temporary fun. Our priority should be protecting our kids, staying safe, and getting home at the end of the day. That's the only thing that really matters. This cycle of violence keeps repeating because we're not learning from what we've already seen. We have to stop moving blindly and start thinking critically about who we surround ourselves with. Because the saying is true, birds of a feather flock together, and sometimes who you choose to flock with is the very thing that puts you in the line of fire. If they her ops, they your ops. Before I say my last words and read everyone's comments at the end of the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop the Stop Gun Violence in Chicago down in the comments section for these people who lost their life and for the victims. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Here we going to an end of the videos. I would like to read everyone's comments.